Hello everyone. Namaskar, Adab, Sat Sri Akal, and thank you for coming to my TEDx talk today. The topic for the day is the gray area. And I must applaud, TEDx that to choose a lawyer to talk about the gray area, because our life is full of navigating gray areas of law, like Jolly LLB. And who else better than a crypto lawyer, right? To talk about this, because it's not only the laws are gray in crypto, in fact the technology and the businesses are also gray. They live in the gray area. And don't worry, I'm not going to give you any tips that which crypto to buy or sell. That's offline. And let's start by defining what is a gray area, right? And I'm not talking about the series 50 Shades of Grey, although it was a good series. The gray area is actually the space between black and white, obviously, but it is the space between good and bad, you know. It is a space between right and wrong. It is the space between fear and confidence. It is the space between success and failure. The space in the gray area is not always clear cut. You know, वहाँ डर लगता है, वहाँ पसीना निकलता है, वहाँ फटती है, you know, जहाँ पे फटती है, that's the gray area. And actually, gray area is a very scary place to be in. It's a place where we take risk. It's a place where we commit mistake. It's a place where we also learn and grow, and it's a place where we find success. डर के आगे ही जीत है, you know, remember that. Now, I think that anybody in the life who has succeeded has always navigated various gray areas of life, right? Otherwise, success is not possible. It's not very straightforward. The first important decision which you have to make is that which subject to choose. Like science, in science you have PCM, you have PCB, you have commerce, you have humanities, you have arts. It's a gray area for you. So you must have followed certain path. You must have built your own template that how do I make a decision which is very important for me. You must have taken the feedback from your friends, from plenty of people, your friends and family. And you had taken certain decision to go down a particular path on academics. Class 12th, after class 12th, right? Again, you were in a gray area. Which course to choose? There are plenty of courses these days. Which college to go? In fact, which bike to purchase, right? So you must have taken some example or some clues from the template of gray area solving you have built after class 10th, and must have taken some steps, taken some feedback to take those decisions. In fact, these early decisions are actually going to shape up your future life. I'm sure you all agree with that. Now coming to the life, right? Everybody gave some example of their life, so I feel inspired, and I thought that maybe let me also share some gray areas of my life which I navigated to charter my personal and professional life. Although as a lawyer, our entire life is in the gray area. The first instance from a personal standpoint, I would say that when I had to take the decision to take forward my career after graduating from Delhi, I am the Munda. My parents were from science background, and I graduated in commerce. It's not that I liked commerce, मेरे नंबर ही नहीं आए थे यार, इतने कम नंबर आए थे कि साइंस मिलने का चांस ही नहीं था. बट ठीक ठाक आ गए थे तो कॉमर्स मिल गई थी दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर. बट यू नो आई हैड नो क्लू बिकॉज आई हैड नोबडी टू गाइड मी व्हाट टू डू आफ्टर आई ग्रेजुएटेड फ्रॉम कॉमर्स. But the good part was I had some smart friends, you know, my 3 idiots, my gangs of Wasipur, and I believed in them, I believed in their instinct, and I decided along with them to pursue corporate law. And I also spoke to a few of the seniors, and they guided me, and I thought that maybe studying corporate law is my professional calling. So I started that journey. But you know, दोस्त सब कमीने होते हैं, you all know. दोस्त के साथ धोखा दे दिया, मुझे अकेला छोड़ के they all change their course of career. But I was totally determined. Once I have taken the decision, I just gave my 200%. So, with the same kind of vigor, I gave my 200% and I came out with some good ranks, flying colors, and did kind of good in the life in this area of law. So, lessons learned. Number one, always have smart friends, or be a smart friend. Number two, which is very important, is feedback. अब हमको सब कुछ नहीं पता होता, हम लोग ज्ञानी नहीं है इतने, ठीक है? So whenever you are in the gray area, you have to navigate it, get some decision out of it. Speak to people, take feedback from your friends, from your family, do random cold calling, take feedback from the expert. You will receive the feedbacks which could be good, bad, ugly. Some feedback may please your ears. Some feedback could be critical, but welcome them. Feedbacks are the gift. The most valuable gift as a young professional or a young student you could get is feedback from multiple people, right? Accept it as a gift. And last but not the least, once you have taken the decision, okay, give your 100%. Jaan laga do us pe. It's your decision. You have to make it big. Now coming from that, after I had decided to pursue this course in the law, I qualified as a lawyer. My initial professional stint was in Delhi, but very soon I realized that अपन का time तो मुंबई में आएगा, because being a corporate lawyer, Mumbai offers better opportunity. But it was a scary thing for me to really move from Delhi to Mumbai. It was quite difficult, but I was fairly determined that if I have to really take forward my career, I have to grow professionally, I must move to this vibrant city called as Mumbai. So I held on to my decision. Again, I took feedback. I had actually no friends and family when I was taking the decision to move from Delhi to Mumbai. But I held on to my nerves. I took feedback, I spoke to people, and ultimately, 20 years back, I moved to Mumbai. Today, Mumbai is my home. Today, Mumbai is my family. Today, Mumbai is also my professional temple for last 20 years. और एक्चुअली 20 साल पहले जो अंधेरी कुरला में मेरे को ट्रैफिक जैम मिलता था, गड्ढे मिलते थे, वो अभी भी मिलते हैं. होपफुली थोड़ा होना चाहिए इम्प्रूव. But after having moved to Mumbai from Delhi, it's always very unsettling, when you change the cities and states with different culture. And I got tagged initially as दिल्ली वाला, दिल्ली वाले बड़े लाउड होते हैं, दिल्ली वाले बड़े ब्रैश होते हैं, दिल्ली वाले बड़े एग्रेसिव होते हैं. So, and I had to really make my living here in Mumbai, right? So I had to come out of those labels. And with all my kind of Delhi daring, I learned the trick of the trade. How do I mix myself with a Delhi daring in the Mumbai spirit and really start to enjoy the culture over here. That was also like the gray area, because you are all alone, you don't have anybody, you get labeled, and then you have to fight for your space in a city. Lot of difficulty, grit and guts are required to do that, and also to make a good career out of it. So, moving from navigating the gray areas from my personal life to the professional life. Now, as a lawyer, the gray area for us is that यहाँ तारीख पे तारीख मिलती है, लेकिन कभी इंसाफ नहीं मिलता, my lord. And I also decided to build my career as a lawyer in emerging technology, right? In the new technology. And when I moved to Bombay about 20 years back, I started working for this US multinational company called as NCR Corporation. They were into banking technology. Especially they were the pioneers in ATMs, And I'm talking about that time when India hardly had 10 to 15 ATMs across the country. And people were scared. How do they accept the new technology in a very old setup of banking industry? Like how today we are a bit scared, we are a bit skeptical, apprehensive, anxious about artificial intelligence, about chat GPT, about crypto, about blockchain, about Web3. So same were the anxieties at that point of time in the banking industry. How should they adopt the ATM technologies and the new banking technologies? And similarly, laws were very old. Laws were not apt to really support the technology and the new business use cases which were coming via new technologies. So I had to really step into the ocean. I have to really steer the storm by working with multiple stakeholders, right from the government to industry bodies to bureaucrats, to help them understand that these technologies are here to chart out the future of India, especially in the banking and fintech technology. And we were successful in creating a very robust legal ecosystem to promote this industry. In fact, the business leaders in that company at that point of time who really took on this gray area of new technology in the banking and made the ATM successful are actually one of the India's most successful fintech entrepreneurs. Now, moving from the banking technology like ATMs to e-commerce about 18 years back. So I started to work with this company called as eBay, if you would all know. So at that point of time, eBay acquired this Indian e-commerce startup company called as Bazi.com. And at that point of time, 18 years back, India hardly had 3 to 5 million, like 30 to 50 lakh, 30 से लेके 50 लाख के आसपास e-commerce users थे. There were no smartphones, there were no cashbacks, there were no cash on delivery, there were no OTPs, and I'm talking about those days when I started working for the e-commerce. And today, India has hundreds and millions of e-commerce users. In fact, everybody in this room, I can bet, would be an e-commerce user. And also similarly, the laws were absolutely gray. I mean, laws were not meant to support the growth of e-commerce and online payment. So learning from my experience in NCR, working with various stakeholders, helping them to understand that what benefit this technology can accrue to the Indian industry and India as such, we again worked hard and built quite robust legal and regulatory ecosystem to promote the e-commerce and online payments in India. In fact, if you would see in last decade or so, the growth story of India has actually been charted out by the growth of e-commerce and online payments, right? So all the hard work, the gray area was there. We navigated, we gave a great platform for the country to reap the benefit from everybody. And after that I found the gray area to be my professional comfort zone, because I have built all these things, learned some tricks of the trade, how to come out or navigate the gray area. Whether that was Reliance Jio for 4G when they just received the 4G license, whether it was Netflix when they just entered India to really start the OTT streaming of the movies, or WhatsApp. Every time there were new technologies, new gray areas of law and the business, I learned the trick and gave a very strong platform for these companies and industry to grow. Last professional example which I would give that how I handled the gray areas of my life, right? So it was when I decided to leave my job from WhatsApp and move to this crypto startup company called as CoinSwitch. And as you would know, WhatsApp is such a great company. It touches the life of almost all the Indians, and it also had very complex legal issues and regulatory issues, which I was heading in India and handling all those stuff. Now I'm talking about October 2021, and I was basically between these two jobs. And suddenly, end of November 2021, there was some unconfirmed press leak that Indian government is going to pass the law, which is again going to ban crypto trading. Boss, मेरी तो फट गई थी उस समय. You have just left one of the most iconic, powerful job as a corporate lawyer, okay, and trying to test your water in this new unknown industry of crypto. एकदम फट गई थी, पता नहीं वो जॉब रहेगी कि नहीं रहेगी, इंडस्ट्री भी होगी कि नहीं होगी. And there were a lot of family unsettling part, मेरे को मेरी बीवी से मेरे पापा से बहुत गालियां पड़ी थी. But having spent almost 20 years working in emerging technology, having seen that what kind of gray areas were there in ATMs 22 years back, what gray areas were there in e-commerce 18 years back, what gray areas were there in 4G technology, but we all overcame that. I don't know how many of you have read certain nuances of that. Crypto regulations, global crypto regulations were actually part of the New Delhi Declaration. 2 years back, we're talking about ban this. This is it, this is, I don't know, ban the crypto trading. And in 2 years, we moved the needle where I'm sure India in the future will be seen as the godfather of international crypto regulations, which will give a big boost to the blockchain, Web3 and crypto as a technology. अब ऐसी थोड़ा है इंडिया विश्व का फिनटेक गुरु बन गया है. Indian regulators, Indian government, they always take the right, they are slow, but they always take the right step to build the right financial ecosystem for common masses in India. And we must applaud them. Now, moving from my life, in fact, in your life, you are going to face a lot of gray areas. A lot of gray areas. You are going to learn to make decisions which will not have very clear answers. You're going to have to learn to think for yourself. You have to learn to trust your own judgment. Because it's important to embrace the gray areas. It's where the magic happens, It is where you find your passion. It is where you find your purpose. It is where you find your true potential. So, don't be afraid to step into the gray area. It is where you will find your future. Paint the gray area with the color you love the most. Gray area is yours, and only yours to win. And before I conclude, we, the proud Indians, have conquered the gray areas of the moon, where the sun hardly shines. Now, with the same grace and grit, I ask you, I ask each one you, and I ask all of you to conquer your gray areas of life. Chak de, and thank you very much.